Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rudy McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Once again, Pope Francis has stressed the significance of having a zero-tolerance approach to abuse. He made this point clear while addressing members of 3 congregations of male religious in the Vatican on Thursday. The Pope repeatedly said there should be zero tolerance to the abuse of minors and disabled people. He appealed to the religious not to hide the reality of abuse. The pontiff reminded them that they are religious who bring people to Jesus, and they should not consume people with concupiscence. He told them that they should denounce the perpetrators instead of transferring the accused to distant locations. Delegates of the Order of the Mother of God, the Congregation of the Mission, also known as the Vincentians, and the Order of St. Basil the Great met the Pope at the Vatican. The Greek Catholic Order of St. Basil the Great takes care of Ukrainian Catholics and Greek Catholics in Central and Eastern Europe. As the war in Ukraine clocks 141 days, Russian missile attacks on Thursday killed at least 23 people, including 3 children. 3 missile attacks struck the central Ukrainian city of Vinnytsia on July the 14th, causing huge casualties. Addressing the incident as an open act of terrorism, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attack targeted civilians in non-military areas. According to the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, 34 of the 66 hospitalized patients suffered severe injuries, while 5 were still in a critical condition. The missiles struck an office building and the nearby residential structures. During the missile strikes, the parking lot of the office building caught fire. The Russian Defense Ministry has not yet responded to the strike, despite having denied targeting civilians. Meanwhile, the International Criminal Court in The Hague has opened a tribunal to investigate war crimes in Ukraine. A British bishop has been named as the chairman of the Holy Land Coordination, which is an initiative that supports Christian communities in the Holy Land. Bishop Nicholas Hudson, who is the Auxiliary of Westminster and long-term bishop delegate of the coordination, is the new chair. He succeeds Bishop Declan Lang, who stepped down at the end of May 2022. Bishops from Europe, North America and South Africa formed the coordination at the behest of the Holy See to help Christians in the Holy Land who face discrimination. The prelates express solidarity through 4 Ps, those being prayer, pilgrimage, pressure and presence. Every year they undertake visits to the Holy Land to reassure believers there that they are not being forgotten by their brethren elsewhere. On Thursday, the US state of Texas sued the federal government over the latest guidelines of the Biden government. As per the new directive, hospitals have been told to provide emergency abortions in spite of the state bans introduced after Roe v. Wade was repealed. Attorney General Ken Paxton, who's a Republican, said that the US Department of Health and Human Services was using the federal law to transform every emergency room in the nation into a walk-in abortion clinic. These guidelines come after the President inked an executive order on Friday that seeks to expand abortion access. Meanwhile, trigger laws that completely ban or partially restrict abortions have come into effect in several Republican-ruled states after the overturning of Roe v. Wade on June the 24th. A Pakistani prelate has appealed to the global community to do more to address the pressing issues of abduction, forced conversion to Islam, and the sexual victimisation of young Christian and Hindu women. In the Muslim-majority nation, every year 1,000 Christian and Hindu young women and girls are kidnapped, converted to Islam and coerced to marry their abductors. Archbishop Sebastian Shaw of Lahore urged the international community to intervene while speaking at an event in Portugal. The prelate said that children from minority communities are not even safe to play in the garden. He was speaking at an event at the Shrine of Christ the King in the Setúbal Diocese of Portugal. He reminded the global community of the need to speak about what is happening in Pakistan. Archbishop Shaw also highlighted the plight of the parents of the abducted girls. In the Muslim-majority nation of Indonesia, the church has been blessed with yet another monastery of the Cistercians of the Strict Observance, who are commonly known as Trappists. In the Catholic sphere, the Trappists are one of the strictest contemplative orders for men, and they are known for their austere lives, centred on prayer and manual labour, based on St. Benedict's rule. As Trappist monasteries are few and far between in Asia, having 4 such monasteries in a Muslim-majority nation is something spectacular. Even predominantly Catholic Philippines has only 1 Trappist monastery to date. The 4th monastery of the contemplative congregation has come up in the village of Pengadungan in Sungai Meluyu district in western Kalimantan. The new foundation is seen as yet another spiritual powerhouse for the local church. Bishop Pius Riana Prapti blessed the new monastery on Wednesday in the presence of Father Isaac Major, the Dutch abbot of the Koningshoven Abbey in Tilburg in the Netherlands. An economic crisis hit Sri Lanka. The Archbishop of Colombo, Cardinal Malcolm Ranjith, has urged the military to exercise restraint. This comes amid rumours that troops have been told to open fire on civilian protesters if there is conflict. Sri Lanka has been witnessing a series of mass protests and the overrunning of official buildings and residences of the President and the Prime Minister. Troops have been deployed and there is a curfew in place. The Cardinal said that the Police and Ministry of Defence have been requested not to abuse the state of emergency, which was declared by Acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe. He also said that people's expectations and demands need to be met. In a similar vein, former Army Commander and lawmaker Sarat Fonseca appealed to soldiers to exercise restraint. There were also reports of police firing tear gas shells at protesters when they tried to make their way to the Parliament building. Meanwhile, former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who fled to neighbouring Maldives on Wednesday, sent his resignation letter by email from Singapore the following day. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow for more. And remember, you can also visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.